more thing. They handle everything so you can focus on getting better. Now I'm done.
You want local news that impacts you?
We've got you covered.
We're on your side.
Help us fight for life and train the CSRA. Contact the American Heart Association for details.
You want local news that impacts you?
We've got you covered.
We're on your side.
On your side, this is News 12, first at 5.
Georgia's governor in our area today urging people to cast a ballot.
And Florida sees packed bars and restaurants over the weekend after the governor let them reopen without restrictions. Now, some health officials are worried.
But first at 5, we're hearing from a Richmond County deputy for the first time after a traffic stop turned into a fight for his life. Deputy Keith Inman making a lot of progress now after he was hit and then dragged by a car earlier this month.
This is a photo his family sent us of the deputy just after he got out of the hospital. His wife says she took him to the pool to help him get moving again as he recovers from his injuries. News 12 Sydney Heiberger has the exclusive interview with Deputy Inman about how he's doing.
It's been 8 days since Deputy Inman was released from the hospital, and he says his mindset could not be any better. It's the community, he says, he has to thank for that. Inman says he doesn't remember anything from the accident. He says his first memory is waking up in the hospital with his wife, Megan, next to him. Inman says he suffered some external bumps and scrapes and internal bruising. He also says he fractured some facial bones. All things considered, he says he was incredibly lucky. When he came to the hospital, he was in critical condition.
You always know the danger is there. You always know that. But it takes a very special person to do that job knowing that it's there. And then after it happened, I try to keep a very positive mindset of I will be better. I will get better.
Deputy Inman says his wife, who also works for the sheriff's office, has been pushing him to get better every day and helping him with his physical therapy. Coming up here on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from her and also what the deputy has to say about the man accused in this case.
Good to see him up and walking. Such great news. Burke County Schools will be moving some of their students to in-person learning 4 days a week. In a letter to parents, Burke County says students in grades pre-K through 5th currently attending school on the hybrid model will begin face-to-face learning 4 days a week. That will start on October 5th, which is next Monday.
Burke County says the change from hybrid to face-to-face learning 4 days a week will happen as long as they can continue to safely do that. For middle and high school students, the change from hybrid to 4 days a week in person will start a little later on, October 26th.
Georgia's governor in the...
Riley, thanks. The Richmond County coroner just identifying the person who was killed by a vehicle last week. 60-year-old Theodore Simpson was trying to cross Deansbridge Road when he was hit in the middle turn lane by a car heading southbound. Simpson was then hit by another car and pronounced dead on the scene.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office looking for a man they believe is behind a burglary in Augusta. Johnny Lee Clark is wanted for burglary and aggravated stalking. Deputies say it happened on Lakeshore Loop earlier this month. Take a good look. They say he's also wanted for questioning in a separate aggravated stalking case as well. He is known to frequent MLK Boulevard and the Harrisburg neighborhood. If you have any information, if you've seen this man, please call the number on your screen.
A Georgia police officer turning in his badge today after he pled guilty to choking an NFL player during a traffic stop. Henry County police officer David Rose pled guilty to simple battery. The plea comes after he was seen on video choking a man at a Target store outside Atlanta almost 3 years ago. As part of the plea deal, though, Rose cannot work in law enforcement as an officer and will serve 12 months probation.
It was a busy weekend for businesses across Florida after the state's governor made a surprise announcement. He lifted COVID restrictions at those establishments. The governor allowed all businesses, including bars, restaurants, and clubs, to reopen at full capacity Friday. He said he would also stop cities and counties from collecting fines on people who don't wear face masks. Dr. Anthony Fauci called the reopening very concerning today as they continue to monitor the spread in that state.
Checking COVID cases across.
As I can. I'm Riley Hale, and I approve this message.
A man from Florida who lost his job during the pandemic is now coming up with a new way to keep shoppers safe.
He's invented a new way to sanitize shopping carts, all while cutting down on the trash from all those wipes. Julie Salamone shows us how it works.
A shopping cart is one of the most touched items in a supermarket. Its handles are often covered in bacteria.
There's been a lot of studies that have shown it's almost one of the dirtiest things in the grocery store.
Adam Labadie was laid off at the start of the pandemic. Now he spends his days working in his garage, making changes and tweaks to an invention that he says would eliminate grocery store wipes.
They just hit the remote.
He created a product known as the Arch Cart Sanitizer, designed to clean shopping carts.
So we'll be sending out demos, free demos to grocers, some in the Northeast and some in the South in about 3 weeks.
Labadie says carts are sanitized using an EPA, FDA-approved solution that kills COVID-19.
And they'll just pour it just like that.
He says he created the product after seeing so much trash while snorkeling and diving. He wanted to reduce the wipes we toss out. The father of two is now talking with several national grocery store chains.
It means a lot to work so hard and then hopefully see my baby come to life.
You gotta love how creative people are getting as this pandemic continues on there.
We've had to be. I mean, we've had to figure out how to reinvent the wheel. And what's really cool is seeing how other people have helped other people.
Yeah.
And you know, he turned a bad situation, losing a job, into something like that.
Got busy in the garage where
There we go.
great things happen.
Yes.
Riley?
All right, if you're going to the garage, you can turn off the sprinklers for tomorrow. We got a good bit of rain heading our way, but got to turn it back on later in the week. A lot of dry weather. Take a look at that 7 coming up.
Plus, a Georgia high schooler being called a hero by his school. How he jumped into action when someone needed it the most.
Joe Bars, new tonight on CBS.
A South Georgia high schooler being called a hero thanks to his quick thinking and bravery. Brock Bailey was given the Hero of the Heart Award by his high school in Valdosta.
Yeah, all he really did was pull a girl out of a burning car last month. She was driving through Brock's neighborhood when the car's power steering failed. She hit a tree, but that crash caused her gas tank to catch fire and then her door to get stuck.
Wow, Brock and another bystander saw it happen. They ran over to get her out. She turned out to be okay, and that girl and her family were there as Brock was recognized at his school. That's a situation a lot of people would run away from,
Yeah.
not into.
Ran toward a burning car. Pretty amazing. Riley?
All right, high temperature wise, keep in mind, we're getting towards the end of September and starting October this week. The start of October is Thursday, and look at these temperatures. It's actually going to feel like fall for us. I don't know if you remember, but last October was a little bit different. If you remember, we actually set record highs the first 4 days of October and actually got into the 100s. So thankfully, we are starting this October much differently. Not expecting to get above average for the next 7 days. We do have high storm chances for your Tuesday, so make sure you have that umbrella before you head out the door. Then for the rest of the week, just looking sunny and cooler than normal.
There is now a new way to get tested for corona. We were telling you about this a little earlier. A petition with more than 800 signatures is calling to get rid of the hybrid model that they're using right now in Columbia County for middle schoolers and high schoolers. But some parents are saying it's not working. We've got Celeste Springer joining us live in the studio, and Celeste had the chance to speak with the woman running the petition, also the school superintendent. So what did you find out, Celeste?
The mom in charge of the petition hopes that Columbia County will switch to full face-to-face options. She hopes this will be changed before Columbia County students get into their second 9 weeks of school. That's 1 week from today. The mom in charge of the petition is raising concerns about if the hybrid model is substantial enough to keep kids learning. Dr. Sandra Caraway says she has the same goal as parents. She wants them back in school too, but she says she isn't quite ready to pull the trigger just yet.
What people should understand is that our classroom space is only so large, and when you put 24 to 25 teenagers in a classroom, it's very difficult to socially distance such that they wouldn't need to wear a face covering all the time.
She says the other hurdle is handling lunch times when kids aren't able to keep that mask on. Coming up tonight, we'll hear from the mom, and she's also a tutor who's behind the petition. She sent emails to the county with her own suggestions on how they can improve.
Okay, looking forward to hearing that, Celeste. I know
a lot of parents are frustrated on just about any level at this point.
He was in the hospital for more than 2 weeks, but last week we showed you this video of him finally getting to go home. Tonight, Sydney Heiberger hears from the deputy and his wife for the first time.
Well, Deputy Keith Inman has gone from critical condition to walking around in just a matter of weeks. His secret, he says, the community's support. Without that, he says his recovery would be much more challenging. To say recovery has been easy,
I got broke right here and in my sinus and my nose.
just wouldn't be realistic.
I lost a little bit of weight, but I mean, I just have some internal injuries, bruising and stuff like that.
But keeping a positive mindset, he says that's been a piece of cake.
People coming out of nowhere, I don't even know, just helping, praying, offering assistance, checking on me.
Deputy Inman and his wife Megan are both in law enforcement, so they say understanding the dangers of the job just comes with the territory.
We talk about it on a daily basis, what would happen to either one of us and how we would take care of the kids.
But knowing it could happen doesn't make it any easier when it does.
It's never really like the movies, everything's normal and then all of a sudden it's not normal anymore.
And perhaps it's that sense of awareness that leaves Deputy Inman with no ill will towards Kaylin Smith, who was denied bond after allegedly dragging Inman across a gas station parking lot with his car.
I was doing my job and he made a choice. It led to what it led to, but I don't hold any hostility towards him at all. I wish him the best in life.
For now, Keith and Megan work towards new goals every day.
I push him. He might not be happy with me every day, but I push him.
Do you like being pushed?
No, so not always.
Carrying smiles with them as they travel down a long road to recovery. In Augusta, Sydney Heiberger, on your side.
So thankful to see he is on the mend, but Inman's wife says he was sedated for the first 8 days he was in the hospital, and his family and friends really believe if it weren't for how fit he is, his physical stature, he might not be here to tell this story.
And what a team they make. Meanwhile, the suspect accused of driving off and dragging Deputy Inman is still behind bars. Kaylin Smith denied bond back on September the 4th. He's charged with aggravated assault on an officer and also awaiting trial on drug charges from June 2018.
New tonight, a wrongful death lawsuit for a Richmond County